caught on camera Dylan Wang and Bai Lu dinner. At first it was just an ordinary night. I sat in one of the classy restaurants in the city center, a place known for its calm atmosphere, warm dim lights, and soft jazz accompaniment that always adds to the feeling of comfort. The restaurant is not a place that just anyone knows. It is more often chosen by celebrities or well-known business people who want to maintain their privacy. I didn't come there looking for gossip, much less stalking anyone. However, fate seemed to give me a rare opportunity to witness something so beautiful. Dylan Wang and Bai Lu, two big names in the entertainment world, turned out to be sitting not far from me, together, enjoying dinner. Underscore. Meeting atmosphere. I remember the moment when the restaurant door opened. From behind the glass, I saw a tall figure clad in an elegant black coat. His face partially covered by a mask, yet his eyes couldn't lie. It was Dylan Wang. Behind her, an elegant woman in a simple beige dress, soft flowing hair, and a confident step, Bai Lu. Both entered with a cautious attitude, clearly wanting to maintain privacy. But even so, their aura could not be hidden. Some guests turned their heads briefly, then pretended to refocus on their dish, perhaps realizing who had just arrived. The waiter greeted them politely, then pointed to a corner table by the window. The position is quite discreet, accompanied by the light of a small chandelier that makes the atmosphere intimate. From my place that was only 3 tables away, I could see quite clearly without having to be too conspicuous. Underscore. First look. What makes the atmosphere so special is not just their presence, but how they look at each other. As soon as he sat down, Dylan took off his coat and mask, revealing his handsome face, which was already well known to the public. He smiled slightly, then looked at Bai Lu. That look is no ordinary look. There was sincerity, there was warmth, there was even a hint of admiration that could not be hidden. Bai Lu lowered her head for a moment, as if embarrassed, then replied with a small smile that made her cheeks blush. I could feel that this moment was more than just dinner. This is their personal space, a space where two normally busy hearts under the glare of cameras can finally talk quietly. Underscore. Flowing chat. The waiter brought the menu. I noticed Dylan let Bai Lu choose first. He looked at her attentively, listening to every word that came out of her mouth. After Bai Lu finished, Dylan just opened the menu and chose something matching. While waiting for the message, the two started talking. I couldn't hear the words clearly, but their expressions were telling enough. Dylan chuckled a few times, revealing his dimples, while Bai Lu covered his mouth with his hands while laughing, as if still maintaining good manners even in the presence of someone who clearly made him comfortable. There was a moment when Dylan leaned forward a little, speaking more slowly, and Bai Lu listened attentively. Occasionally he nodded, his eyes lit up, then replied with a short sentence that made Dylan smile again. I could see clearly, among them there was a natural comfort, not artificial, not for the camera, but genuine. Underscore. First course. When the food comes, the atmosphere gets more intimate. They ordered the restaurant's signature dishes. Seafood pasta for Dylan and medium rare steak for Bai Lu. Despite the different choices, I noticed how the two offered to taste each other's food. Dylan carefully cut a small piece of steak and placed it on a small plate in front of Bai Lu, while Bai Lu scooped a small amount of pasta towards Dylan. That simple gesture made my chest warm. There is respect, care, as well as familiarity in it. It is the little things that often become precisely the most vivid evidence of closeness. Underscore. Body language that cannot be lied to. What interests me as a resource person is not just their chatter, but the body language that keeps talking. Dylan stared at Bai Lu several times longer than he should. His eyes as if he wanted to record every detail of his face. Bai Lu, although she sometimes looked awkward, instead returned that look with a gentle smile. There was a small moment when their hands almost touched as they both reached for the glass of water. Dylan reflexively pulled his hand slightly, but his smile could not be hidden. Bai Lu chuckled a little, then deliberately shifted her glass closer to Dylan, as if to say, "It's okay." I'm sure anyone who saw that moment would agree. There is something more than friendship. Caught on camera. That night, I wasn't the only one who noticed. From another angle, I saw someone with a cell phone trying to photograph them secretly. At first glance, I felt worried, because obviously Dylan and Bai Lu wanted to keep their privacy. However, in the end, the photo actually circulated on social media a few hours later. The photo shows Dylan and Bai Lu laughing together, with the restaurant lights making the atmosphere look romantic. Netizens immediately excited, talking about whether this is a sign of a special relationship. As a person who witnessed firsthand, I can confirm. What is visible in the photo is just a drop from the ocean of true intimacy. Serious chat. After a few moments of joking, the mood turned more serious. Dylan seemed to speak in a soft tone, his face calm but full of solemnity. Bai Lu listened carefully, occasionally nodding. Even her eyes seemed a little teary. I don't know what the conversation was about, but it certainly wasn't small talk. There is something important, maybe about their careers, maybe about personal life, or maybe about the relationship between them. However, after that, Bai Lu smiled again, as if the burden that had felt heavy had become lighter because Dylan was there. Unforgettable moments. The most memorable moment was when the music in the restaurant turned into a romantic song with a soft rhythm. Unconsciously, Dylan tapped his finger to the beat on the table, then looked at Bai Lu. "Let's dance for a minute," he said slowly. I could read his lips. Bai Lu looked surprised, then chuckled slightly while shaking her head. However, Dylan stood up and reached out. With a slightly embarrassed face, Bai Lu finally accepted. They stood at the side of the table, just the two of them, moving slowly to the music. There was no one else to dance with, but that's exactly what made the moment feel exclusive. Dylan grasped Bai Lu's hand gently, while the other hand touched his back cautiously. Bai Lu looked down, her face flushed, but her smile clearly showed happiness. I'm sure, if there was a professional camera recording that moment, the world would explode. After dinner, after almost 2 hours, they finally prepared to leave the restaurant. Dylan politely called the waiter, paid the bill without letting Bai Lu interfere, and then put on his coat again. Before coming out, I saw Dylan quickly grab Bai Lu's hand, grasping it tightly, then releasing it once they realized there were several eyes watching. However, their smiles could not be hidden. That night, they went out together, walking side by side towards the waiting car. The source's conclusion: as a direct witness, I can say, the dinner was not just a meeting of colleagues. There is harmony in the way they talk, there is romance in every look, and there is a comfort that only two people who understand each other have. Getting caught on camera might make a big splash, but for me, it's proof that behind the glitter of the entertainment world, there's a heart trying to find simple happiness, like having dinner with that special someone. And that night, I'm sure Dylan Wang and Bai Lu found it.